Hello everyone and welcome to my channel where collectible pre-painted figures are looked at in detail and where progress in my own custom painted scale model kit projects are shared from unboxing all the way to completion. In this video, I'll be checking out yet another Sakurajima Mai Bunny Girl figure, this time from the lower tier budget price figure category, specifically the Taito Coreful Bunny Renewal version of the female protagonist from Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Senpai, light novel, manga and anime series. Having already added Bunny Girl versions of Sakurajima Mai mainly from the mid-tier category and higher end of the lower tier spectrum, which is the Good Smile Company Pop-Up Parade and Taito AMP Plus versions respectively, I decided to check out a version that's arguably the most affordable to the majority of collectors, namely the one you see here, Taito Coreful Bunny Renewal version of Mai. For the box art, it's pretty much standard fare, comprising photo images of Bunny Girl Mai in various poses. Before we take a closer look, let me first unbox and unwrap the figure in this ASMR section, which can be skipped if you so wish using the timestamps below. Taito Coreful's bunny figure of Sakurajima Mai comes fully assembled, save for the round display base that she will eventually attach to. Two things that stood out immediately, apart from the figure's excellent facial details that unambiguously marks her out as Sakurajima Mai, was the felt-like material covering both bunny ears, as well as the use of paintwork to mimic the fine mesh fishnet stockings instead of using real cloth material. The latter is perhaps an understandable design choice, considering that this is a budget price figure, but the legs have another more unforgivable characteristic that I'll touch on later. So at a glance, this Taito Coreful version of Mai seems to have most, if not all, the ingredients for a good bunny figure, all of which I'll look at in closer detail at later sections after she has been set up for display in full 360-degree views. That I'll do after we take a quick look at the display base Mai will attach to. Speaking of which, while the display base has a simple form factor comprising a flat round piece of plastic, Taito did somewhat alleviate the bland flat black molded ink colors by adding gold letterings of the character's name, the definition of Puberty Syndrome, as well as stating that this is the bunny version of the figure. Anyway, let's now attach Mai to this base in a short ASMR assembly section. I'll resume commentary again in the full 360-degree view section. Taito Coreful crane prize figures have always been decently sized, at least if you are a collector who is partial to figures on a larger scale. With the bunny figure standing at about 20 centimeters when measured to the top of Sakurajima Mai's head, or 21.5 centimeters when measured to her bunny ears, this Taito Coreful figure is a fairly large crane prize figure that is, for better or for worse, easily visible in any collection. To me, this bunny version of Sakurajima Mai is a tale of two halves, which I can better explain if I first switch to the upper half view of her. From this upper torso view, Sakurajima Mai simply looks magnificent and has a sculpt quality that's easily on par with mid-tier figures. Not only does this Taito Coreful bunny figure have a strong resemblance to Sakurajima Mai due to good facial details, it also has a cute Playboy bunny ensemble that's hugging a well-endowed body. It's an attire that has three main colors, comprising blue for the bunny ears, bow tie and strapless corset teddy, white for the collar, cuffs and tail, and lastly umber or deep brown for the stockings. I guess if you count her high heels, then there is a fourth color, which is the black high heels. In terms of materials used for this blue Playboy bunny ensemble, a felt-like fabric cloth covers the bunny ears, while glossy plastic was used to mimic leather for her bow tie and strapless corset teddy. Conversely, matte plastic was used on Mai's collar and cuffs to mimic a white shirt cloth material. Unfortunately, her stocking comprised only of a flat umber heel instead of being real stocking cloth material. Mai's skin tone was fair and unshaded, save for the blushes on her cheeks. Though I wish Taito had shaded her skin tone, and yes, painted her fingernails too, which they did not, the fair skin tones did unwittingly hide the otherwise jarring mole lines running down both her forearms. Another impressive characteristic of this budget tier pre-painted figure is Mai's long hair, which was sculpted to flare out individual locks of hair as opposed to being just one mass of plastic with no differentiation between the locks or strands of hair. And speaking of sculpt quality, I like how Mai's arms and hands are being positioned for a natural looking pose, at least when viewing her upper half. Now as I zoom out again to the full 360-degree view of Sakurajima Mai in a bunny suit, I found the sculpt and positioning of both her legs rather awkward to look at in comparison. I can't quite put my finger on it, other than to say that her legs seem to look unnatural both in terms of proportion as well as positioning. Interestingly enough, I was first attracted to this Taito Coreful bunny figure when I spotted her in a hobby shop window display, admittedly at below waist level, so I may not have noticed her legs and the issues I now have with them. Ironically, this higher top-down view provided me with a clear view of the round display base, which is actually another feature of the Taito Coreful bunny version that was done reasonably well, namely the yellow letterings on the clear black base that helps alleviate its blandness. That in essence highlights the ambivalence I harbor about this Sakurajima Mai bunny figure, which makes her rating less straightforward than it needed to be. Taito Coreful's take on Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Senpai's main female character in a variation of her iconic Playboy bunny ensemble, which is blue in this case, comes amid a fairly crowded market of Bunny Mai figures, so it had its work cut out to even stand out. And stand out it did, though unfortunately not in a wholly complete way. Looking at blue Bunny Mai from the waist up, I'm genuinely impressed with how good this budget tier crane price figure looks, thus punching above its weight or price point as the case may be. Yet, as I've pointed out earlier, the figure's lower half unfortunately leaves a lot to be desired. While I can overlook the use of paint shading to mimic fine mesh fishnet stockings on Mai's legs, the awkward positioning of her legs, coupled with their seemingly unnatural proportions relative to her torso, are negatives that cannot be ignored. That being said, I have seen these issues somewhat mitigated when Sakurajima Mai is tilted more to her left when posed, or when the entire figure is viewed from certain angles. However, for me at least, this dichotomy in sculpt design between the figure's upper and lower halves is still significant enough to adversely affect the figure's overall rating. In that regard, I'm giving the Taito Coreful Sakurajima Mai Bunny version Renewal figure a rating of Gold or C rank. In a field crowded with many collectible versions of Sakurajima Mai in her iconic Playboy bunny attire, it's hard to recommend this Taito Coreful version to collectors, unless you're a Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Senpai superfan who simply must have in his or her collection all versions of Mai in a bunny suit. If that were the case, then like I had mentioned earlier, it's still possible to display the Taito Coreful figure in its best light with some creative positioning. And as with all ratings I give, it's just a matter of opinion. Some collectors would be dismissive of my concerns with this bunny figure version by Taito, and that's okay. What matters most is to be informed about potential issues of a figure and consider if it's still worth having in your collection. Or in the words of Marie Kondo, choose that which sparks joy in you. On that note, I would like to thank you for watching. Until next time, be well and be happy. Bye bye now.